Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Whole Home Show. I'm Tony Joe, your host here every week. We bring you tips, education, and updates on home-related matters. Whether you are in the real estate market or if you're looking for decorating or improvement ideas for your home, this is a great place to be. Our show comes to you with the support of our show partners, Denise Webster, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Modern Mortgage Group, JP Sellers, insurance advisor at Westland Insurance, the Sitka Law Group for your real estate, wills and estates, corporate and personal injury needs, and Silhouette Building Inspections with Pierre Beauvais. If you need help or direction in your real estate transaction, give any of the Whole Home Show team members a call. They would love to hear from you. It's always been my pleasure being here for you every weekend over the past 6 or 7 years now. Of course, this is just my little side job. I love coming here and learning more as you do as we speak to some of these great guests, learning about things relating to real estate. Of course, I do help people on a daily basis with their real estate needs, either if you're buying or selling or looking at purchasing investment property, happy to help you out. If you would like a second opinion or you want to talk about your own real estate needs, feel free to reach out to me. You can find my contact information and the rest of the Whole Home Show team members, their information also by visiting cfax1070.com. Look under shows, and there you'll find us, the Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. All of our contact information is there. Or, as I often say, you can always just reach out to me. Just Google me. You'll find me online. I know that you will because I get phone calls and emails and texts sometimes from you, our loyal listeners, on a regular basis. Love hearing from you. In fact, I have to say, spoke with someone just this week who has been listening since day one. He was saying that he and his wife do his best to listen every weekend as much as they can. I want to thank both of you and, of course, everyone else who similarly listens. It has been our pleasure, and it's just so much fun for us to be here for you every weekend and providing you great advice. As I said a moment ago, we learned as well. I learned as well, and this is a great thing. This week, in the past couple of weeks, we have been talking about an event that is coming up this coming Wednesday. It is navigating the BC healthcare system. It is an event being put on by the VSBN, the Victoria Seniors Business Network. Again, Wednesday, October 23rd, from 1:30 to 3:30 at St. Patrick's Church in Oak Bay on Haltane Street. I will give you all the information a little bit later on, well, throughout the show, in fact. Grab a pen and paper so that I'll make sure I give you lots of notice next time I give you numbers and everything. The speaker of the event is Connie Jorsvik. She is the author of a book called Navigating the BC Healthcare System. This is a free event. There's refreshments there, plenty of parking. It is going to be fantastic. You can either go to Eventbrite and find our posting on October the 23rd. You shouldn't have a problem there. You should not have a problem there, I should say. Maybe have one of your kids or family members look that up for you. Or you can visit cfax1070.com, look under the Whole Home Show. The information is right there on that page. Finally, you can phone and leave a message as well. 1-778-200-3387. Again, that's 1-778-200-3387. Just leave a message. Let us know how many of you will be there, and we will call you back with confirmation. So this week we're going to be chatting with Jim Bryant and Teresa Ostman from Seniors News. That is a publication that you will see in coffee shops and all over the place in town. Darylyn Way with Orderly Affairs. She'll be talking about preparations, being ready for the future. And we will, of course, be speaking with a familiar face around here, one of the show partners and supporters, Gurpreet Randhawa from the Sitka Law Group. Again, talking about planning. If you have any questions about navigating the BC healthcare system, this is a great event for you to come to. And I want to remind you, it's Wednesday, October 23rd from 1:30 to 3:30 at St. Patrick's Church in Oak Bay. Now, I always start off our program with having a little segment, things that people have been asking about. You message me, you give me recommendations about things to put on the program. A question came up just the other day, and I found this one quite entertaining, actually, but it's a great topic, by the way. And that is, what are the deal killers? What are the deal killers? And by the way, this came out of the mouth of a seller. So sellers are wondering, oh, how, I want to put my house on the market. What are the things that I need to be worried about? So I want to go through a quick little list with you here right now. Um, the big three that we discuss often, and they're with older houses, and they are things that are have posed insurance or regulatory hurdles. Number one is underground oil storage tank. If it's a house that was built before 1962-ish kind of thing, there's always the concern that there may be a buried oil tank in the ground, and even worse, if there is remaining fuel in the tank that has been leaching into the property, causing potentially an environmental hazard. Now, we had not that long ago the guys who talked about tank removal and soil testing and everything. So that is one thing. By the way, folks, this is one that you can't hide and you can't get away from because what buyers are doing, they're very concerned about buying a house that has a potential environmental issue. They get a tank scan done. So somebody goes, walks the property with some form of detection to locate a tank. And if located, that tank has to come out. Now, you may think that you can write in the offer, well, that'll be the buyer's problem. See, the issue is no buyer is going to want to take that on unless they know the scope or the extent of any potential environmental issues. So this is the reason why a lot of smart sellers go ahead, get that scan done first before they go to market. And they even remove that tank if one is found, because then there is a record of a tank having been removed. And that ends up being a pretty big selling feature because it's one less thing that a buyer needs to be concerned about. So that's one of the big three. The second one is knob and tube wiring or electrical systems that are sub 100 amp. Again, insurance companies are having problems with those. That's a little more evident because, of course, that can be seen. The other one is asbestos. The third one is asbestos. And this is whether it's vermiculite insulation in the attic that has asbestos content in it. It is generally known that properties that were built before 1990 can have some degree of asbestos because asbestos was being used as a miracle substance for many years, and that is something that can be found. Those that have sensitivities, I mean, let's face it, asbestos is not a good thing in any event. You certainly don't want it airborne because it could pose problems, but that is also something else. Those are the three. It's underground oil storage tank, electrical systems, and asbestos. There is another one that comes up, and this is the one that came up in conversation this week, and that is poly B tubing, poly B piping, and that is in the plumbing. It is a form of plumbing that was used in the sort of 1980s, 1990s. It was, again, a miracle substance, lightweight, easy to install. You might recognize it because they're basically gray plastic looking tubes. The concern with these is that they have the propensity to leak. Even worse, if the connectors, the things that connect the plumbing with faucets or fixtures, if the connectors are plastic as well, they are prone to failure, as opposed to the good old-fashioned copper fittings. Now, Poly B is something that, again, can be very expensive to replace. And that is something that, nothing is insurmountable, by the way, folks. Nothing stands in the way of making someone buy a property. The big question, though, is what's the cost going to be to get the house to the point where the buyer is comfortable and isn't concerned or doesn't have scare, right? The only other way, by the way, to avoid all these things is to buy brand new. And if you've been looking around, brand new house is a lot more money than a secondhand one, or they're a lot smaller. Houses are smaller now than they were in the grand old days. So those are some potential deal killers. Those are things that buyers are often very concerned about. It is always best as a seller to be prepared. It's good to have a conversation with an agent like myself just to get ready for every eventuality. Anyways, need to take a break here. When we come back, we'll be chatting with Gurpreet Randhawa and other members of the VSBN, the Victoria Seniors Business Network. Back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to the Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. We've been talking for the past couple of weeks about an event that's coming up just in a few days' time. It is the VSBN, the Victoria Seniors Business Network. We have events a couple of times a year. The VSBN is the Victoria Seniors Business Network. We are a group of local professionals who specialize in helping the needs of seniors or families of seniors as they go through their process and needing things such as care in home, real estate like myself, packing, moving, going to retirement residence like Parkwood Place with our friend Lynn Vandekamp. We are having this event on October 23rd. It's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, from 1:30 to 3:30 at St. Patrick's Church in Oak Bay. The address there is 2060 Haltane Street. It is a free event. It is there are refreshments that are going to be there. There's parking, of course, as well. The topic is navigating the BC healthcare system. Navigating the BC healthcare system. I have to tell you, folks, the take up has been unbelievable. We have never sold this many tickets this early on an event before, but it's just telling us that it's content that people are looking for, and perhaps you should be there as well too. You can sign up by going to Eventbrite. You go to Eventbrite or have your kids do that. Look under October 23rd in Victoria, and there you'll find us navigating the BC healthcare system. Or you can leave a message, give us a call. The number is 1-778-200-3387. That's 1-778-200-3387. Sorry, 3387. We would love to see you there. We do have the information, by the way, on our page on cfax1070.com, including a link to Eventbrite if you want to do it that way as well too. We've of course been speaking with members of the VSBN for the past few weeks here, just talking leading up to this event, leading up to navigating the BC healthcare system. But of course, it's always good just to have little catch-ups with our VSBN members. And our next guest is not only a VSBN member, she's also a supporter and a regular here on our program, a show sponsor and partner from the Sitka Law Group. It's Gurpreet Randhawa. Gurpreet, how are you?
I'm great, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, and again, we have another one of these events coming up. I do have to say, we're looking forward to potentially seeing you because at the last event we announced that you were going to have a child, which you have since had, right?
Yeah. I had welcome my first child who's now 3.5 months old. Can't believe it.
Yeah, and you are also working too, I have to say. We were chatting about this before we got on here. Your work never ends. You're always busy taking care of people.
Yeah, it comes to the territory, but I really enjoy it, and I'm happy that I get to slowly transition back into it.
Yes, yes. And of course, we've had Julia from the Sitka Law Group. She was on our program a couple of months ago talking
Yeah.
about estate sales and things like that. Now, of course, we have this event that is coming up in a few days' time about the BC healthcare system. Aside from real estate, which you and I talk about all the time, we'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks' time. There are things that you can help clients out with as well too, relating to their needs moving forward, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's under the umbrella of estate planning, but specifically when it comes to navigating care, we focus on representation agreements.
And that, of course, is the instructions that people, myself, for instance, would have as far as what the future holds, right?
Exactly. And it's specifically related to personal and health care. So it's essentially a legal document that allows you to give somebody legal authority to make personal and healthcare decisions for you if you're incapacitated.
hmm this would be the place where, for instance, the do not resuscitate instruction would reside, right?
It could, absolutely. I find that most clients give general authority to a person.
hmm
You absolutely have the option of putting specific instructions into place as well, like a do not resuscitate, an advance directive, which is a checklist that allows you to pick and choose treatments you would consent to or reject.
hmm
Um, but the document itself can be general as well.
And of course, what it does is it nominates a specific person to actually make these decisions, right?
Exactly. So there's something called a living will, which is essentially a document that allows you to outline your end of life wishes, but it doesn't actually give anyone authority to make decisions for you. That's where this representation agreement comes into play. So as you say, you can nominate someone to make ongoing decisions for you.
So for somebody who has been asked to take on this role, what are things that they should consider? Because it seems to me that this is a really big responsibility.
Absolutely. And that's a really great question and one that I actually don't see come up often. But I would say that if you are appointed as somebody's representative, it's really important to have conversations with the person who's appointed you. What are their beliefs, values? What would they want to see happen if they're being kept alive by artificial means? Would they want heroic measures? So I think it's important to have conversations so you know what the person would want if they're incapacitated.
Yeah, I mean, presumably this would, I guess, commonly be someone close, spouse or child or something like that. But it doesn't need to be. It could be anyone, right?
Exactly. And very common for it to be a spouse or child. That's usually our recommendation to clients. But on the rare occasion, clients do appoint professionals
Hmm.
because maybe they don't want to put the responsibility on their family, or maybe they don't have family.
Oh, professional
Um,
like you, like a lawyer?
it can be a lawyer.
Okay.
Again, I don't usually recommend it, but
Oh,
sometimes as a last resort, it is.
got it, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is I as I age, I'm thinking about I was at an event just the other day and we were talking about retirement and it dawned on me that I am at the age where I could actually live in some of these retirement residences now.
That's
Right?
hard to believe.
I know. And I mean, I feel like I just started real estate yesterday, but it was 30 some odd years ago,
Wow.
right? I know. Anyways, so as I think about this, w- it's entirely my parents are both gone now, but it's entirely possible that somebody my age or my demographic could be asked this question. Or more specifically, perhaps it's something that I might want to consider doing. I believe that we discussed this because you took care of our will, and this is something that came up in conversation. This is all part of the estate planning program that somebody should be undergoing, right?
Absolutely, exactly. It's one of those pieces that I consider to be a crucial part of your estate plan, and I think that any adult should consider this as part of their plan because I mean it's not necessarily just for seniors. Any one of us could be involved in an accident and become incapacitated, and that's really when this document comes into play is if you lose capacity for any reason.
Yeah, because you never know what the world will throw at you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and this is just another reminder. You and I have talked about this many times before, the importance of having a will, and especially real estate related. Like whenever somebody has either purchased their first home or a larger home or whatever, uh, get your will updated, but at the very least, get a will, right?
Exactly. And in my view, the triggers for getting a will are acquisition of a significant asset like a house or welcoming a child,
Oh,
because the will is also the mechanism that allows you to appoint guardians for minor children.
yeah. I have said this before as well too, and we've talked about this. For me, I'm a little late to the will thing because it just felt like it was a lot of work. But you and the team at the Sitka Law Group made it very easy, and I'm thankful for that. We did that a few years ago now, right?
Yeah. Thanks so much, Tony. And that's our goal is to make this as an easy process for you and to remove that as an obstacle
Just
period.
one less thing to worry about, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more planning for you and also your family. And I think that I'll also just quickly mention that if you do not have a representation agreement in place and you do lose capacity, your family may have to apply to court to obtain
Ah,
the authority to make decisions for you. So it is a very important part of your plan.
that is not something to look forward to.
No, no,
No.
it's costly, time consuming, not recommended,
And it
obviously, but
could have
the
been
last resort.
prevented. And it could have been prevented.
Exactly.
Oh, all right, Gurpreet, if people need to reach you, as always, best way to do that?
Best way to reach us is at the office, 778-265-2677, or our website, sitkalaw.ca.
And of course, folks, you can find that on our page on cfax1070.com because the Sitka Law Group has been a regular supporter and sponsor of this program. They make it possible for us to come here for you every week. Thanks for joining us, Gurpreet.
Thanks so much for having me, Tony.
We're going to have more information, folks, about the event coming up on October 23rd after the break here. Back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to the Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. Our show comes to you every week with the support of our show partners, Denise Webster, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Modern Mortgage Group, JP Sellas, insurance advisor at Westland Insurance, the Sitka Law Group for your real estate, wills and estates, corporate and personal injury needs, and Silhouette Building Inspections with Pierre Beauvais. If you need help in your or direction in your real estate transaction, give any of the Whole Home Show team members a call. They would love to hear from you. As a reminder, by the way, folks, if you're a podcast listener, you can download all 330 of our episodes over the last 6 years. You can visit iTunes or just anywhere you can find and download fine podcasts. Where right there, it's the Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. So much great information, always fantastic guests, and I learn so much by speaking with these people. Now, we have been talking for the past couple of weeks about an event that is coming up. It is navigating the BC healthcare system. That's the topic. And you know what? That's something, it's so important. That's something that people are very curious about. I can tell you right now, folks, it is going to be a busy one because our registrations have been heavier than usual. Grab pen and paper, by the way, because I'm going to give you more information in just a moment here. This is being put on by the VSBN, the Victoria Seniors Business Network. This is a group of local professionals who specialize in handling the needs of seniors in our community and their loved ones and their kids as well too, coordinating with family members to help seniors. We've been around for a number of years. I'm proud to be one of the founding members. We do put on events a couple times a year, and this is our fall one. Again, the date is Wednesday, October the 23rd. That's just around the corner. It's going to be between 1:30 and 3:30 at St. Patrick's Church in Oak Bay. The address there is 2060 Haltane Street. The speaker happens to be the author of a book that is called Navigating the BC Healthcare System. That is Connie Jorsvik. We had her on last week if you were listening to the program. So much great information, but so much more when you arrive. It is a free event. There's going to be refreshments, as there always is. Lots of parking. You don't need to worry about parking at all. It's a parking lot right there, after all, right? You can find the event by going to Eventbrite and just search October 23rd. You'll find us navigating the BC healthcare system, or have one of your kids or your grandkids or family members search that for you. You can also find it by visiting the cfax1070.com website under our page, The Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. It's right there. Or you can call and leave a message. Get your pen and paper handy there. Here we go. It's 1-778-200-3387. That's 1-778-200-3387. I will be repeating that on our last segment as well too today, so don't worry if you missed it this time. We have been chatting with members of the VSBN for the past couple of weeks because, of course, they all contribute to events like this coming up. We want to learn about what it is they do and how they help the community. And our guests right now are with Seniors News. That would be Jim Bryant and Teresa Osman. Good seeing you both. Great having you back.
Oh, thanks, Tony.
Good talking to you again, Tony.
And Teresa, I was on your program not that long ago, so
Yes,
thanks for having me. Yes.
Yeah, great.
Let's tell the listeners, let's remind them about Seniors News.
Okay, we're a publication that serves the senior community in Victoria, and this is part of many editions that we have, but we have two particular editions that serve Victoria of the Seniors News. One is in the Victoria proper area, Victoria, Oak Bay, Esquimalt, that area in there. And then we kind of have a similar edition, a sister edition, if you will, that kind of serves the Saanich area of town. And that kind of, so the border's kind of just past Mayfair, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have two editions, and we have about 80 locations throughout the city right now where we can be found free of charge. It's a bright colored, full color publication, and it says Seniors News on the mast. Within it, it's just a one pager, front and the back, easy to read, and we have colorful advertisements from our advertisers on the side, and then we've got valuable content that runs down the side of the publication.
Yeah, it's got great information on health and wellness. The publication Senior News is powered by Wellness News Choices for Healthy Living, and we do have other editions on Vancouver Island. And we pride ourselves in bringing health and wellness information to the people. It started with me almost 8 years ago because my sister and I were looking for information to help our parents because we couldn't find it. And so we thought, well, why don't we produce something to help people find information? And so you can find information on seniors residences, senior support, seniors activities, seniors events. And it's like little tidbits of information that are easy to read. And if you want more information, the links are there, the advertisers are there. You contact them and find out more. I would just love having these publications in Victoria and for the seniors in Victoria. And thank you so much, Tony, for letting us promote this along with the event. It's wonderful.
Well, I support the publication too because I've been an advertiser for a while. So, folks, if you're wondering what this is, just look for my picture because it's there, and it's a very handy place for me to be able to have a message every month as well. And we talk about helpful things. But again, the advantage here, folks, and you've probably seen it, by the way. It's as they mentioned, as Jim and Teresa mentioned, it's full. It's white. It's a very nice paper stock, and it is full color. And there's lots of great information. When you are going, and Jim, you said there's 80 locations, so they're all over the place, right?
All over the place. We're coffee shops, grocery stores, pharmacies, leisure centers, independent living facilities. We try to be where our audience is.
Yeah. So think about this. I mean, it's a great spot if you're off grabbing a coffee or something, and you see the publication, just grab it. It'll keep you company, right?
It will. And on the back page at the bottom, there's actually a phone number, and that's Jim's phone number in Victoria. And if you have any suggestions or praise, call him and let him know or send him an email. Some of the content that we have in the Seniors News comes from our readers where they've actually phoned us or email to compliment us, sometimes say, well, you need more of something. And then we take that to heart. And then we go out to the community and the seniors businesses who have products and services for seniors and say, look this is what seniors want. Come on, join us. Let's help spread information for seniors because it's so important to get the word out for what's available for seniors.
Actually, sorry.
And on that note, Tressa, sorry, it's quite valuable because if you say you advertise in one of the larger publications in town or the local newspaper, who's to say that you're going to find your event amongst pages and pages and pages? For us, it's a front, it's a back. That's all there's to it. And we recognize that. And like I said, people have been calling us and said, we want to see more events. And we took that to heart. So I've been actually focusing on that. We've designed special packages for people who want two months advertising for their event, and we'll accommodate that. We have a special package for that, and we just want to be a conduit of information for the community.
Yeah. The bottom line is that we want seniors to get the information that they need. And right now, we've had some difficult years, and seniors' isolation and loneliness is so high. And so we want to let them know, and I think we should all be working to let seniors know about the resources that are available to them. So this event coming up on the 23rd is perfect.
Oh, it is. To talk about a segue, that's fantastic because you're talking about events. And as a reminder to our listeners, I'll give you more information after the break here, but there is an event coming up just this coming week. It's Wednesday, October 23rd, with the Victoria Seniors Business Network. It's navigating the BC healthcare system. Thanks again, Jim and Teresa, for joining us today. With your help, I want to remind the listeners, please go out there and have a look for the Seniors News publication out there. Again, it's free. The price is right. You can't, yeah. And hey, we're always looking for things to read at home or the coffee table or the kitchen table, whatever, right?
Yes, and
Exactly.
every month the content is different and there's valuable information. Tony provides an excellent article every month for folks' real estate needs.
Yeah,
But please pick it up and have a look. And if you have it and you want to send, we welcome the feedback. Email me,
fantastic.
call me, what have you.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us again from Seniors News. That's Jim Bryant and Teresa Osmond. Thanks again for joining us as always. And I'm going to go grab my copy of the Seniors
Thanks,
News
Tony.
shortly here. Just need to take a break here, folks. We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to the Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. We have been having conversations over the past couple of weeks about an event that is coming up. It is coming up next week. It is Navigating the BC Healthcare System, happening on Wednesday, October the 23rd. That's Wednesday, October 23rd. By the way, if you want to jot down the phone number I'm going to give you in a moment, you might want to grab your pen and paper right now. It is Wednesday, October 23rd from 1:30 to 3:30 at St. Patrick's Church in Oak Bay. The address there is 2060 Haltane Street. The speaker will be Connie Jorsvik. You've heard from her. We've had her on recently. Her topic is going to be, again, navigating the BC healthcare system. This is another event that's being put on by the Victoria Seniors Business Network. That is a group that I am a founding member of. We've been around for many years here in Victoria. We're a group of local professionals that specializes in the needs and care of seniors here in Greater Victoria. So far the take up on this event has been amazing. We'll have room for you. We'd love to see you there. When you get there, you'll have a chance to visit and meet with the rest of the members of the Victoria Seniors Business Network, and of course with the author of the book and our keynote speaker, Connie Jorsvik. It is a free event. There's no cost. We always have refreshments there. We've been doing these events, by the way, for the past couple of years. We typically have 2 events every calendar year. This is our fall one. Always great to see members of the community. Always great to see our listeners from CFAX, because we hear from you all the time, and I get to meet you face to face. It's always fun for me. There's lots of parking there too, because of course it's a church, so there's the parking lot. Here's the phone number. Here you go. The one's important. 1-778-200-3387. Let's do that again. 1-778-200-3387. Or if you are online and you want to find tickets for this, easiest way to do that is to go to Eventbrite. Go to Eventbrite. Just type in the date, October 23rd, here in Victoria, and you'll find it there. Navigating the BC healthcare system. You'll find all the information there. Again, we've had our guests. We hear from all of these fantastic members of the Victoria Seniors Business Network. We have one right now, our last guest of the day. She's been on our program before, and actually very fitting because, of course, Connie's going to be talking about the healthcare system. And, of course, who we have right now is Darilyn Way. Darilyn is with Orderly Affairs here in Victoria, getting your affairs in order. Darilyn, great seeing you again.
Thanks so much for having me, Tony.
Okay, so remind our listeners, for those who perhaps haven't heard from you before, what is it that you do at Orderly Affairs?
Right. Well, what I do is I help people get their affairs in order. And what does that mean? That is such an overwhelming subject matter. What I do is I break that up into 3 primary services to assist people with the tasks associated with getting our affairs in order in different chunks so that it becomes manageable.
There are so many things to consider, right? I mean, healthcare is something that Connie is going to be chatting about. Because this is a real estate program, real estate is something that people need to consider getting their affairs in order, right?
Absolutely. In fact, often it is the whole downsizing question that motivates people to actually start thinking of getting their affairs in order. So that is something that I can help people with, coach them through, the benefits of doing that sooner rather than later, as part of my services. And of course, through the Victoria Seniors Business Network, I have this wonderful network of service providers in Victoria who can assist with providing those services.
Yeah, and we've had the fortune, all of us, of having worked with each other before in past. Always great to have trusted professionals taking care of needs. Now, you are not just serving the seniors who are thinking about doing this. You often chat with family members as well too, and people who are making decisions in a family nucleus, right?
Yes, yes. In fact, when I started this business, my target market was actually people who were approaching retirement, getting ready for retirement, the whole downsizing question, because getting our affairs in order is not something we should be waiting till the end of life to do. It is something that's relevant at every age. And so I've created this tool called the Orderly Affairs Guide that basically walks you through, teaches you about the primary topics that are related to getting your affairs in order. It's a repository for the original documents, information that ultimately your executor will need. But since Connie's the speaker this month, one thing I should mention is when I was developing this business, doing the research and developing the tools, I kept running into this topic called advanced care planning, which I personally didn't know anything about. And the more I learned about advanced care planning, the more I realized that this is such important information. It's really our own personal future healthcare planning that I needed to develop a separate service to talk to people about how they prepare for their own future healthcare planning, especially in British Columbia, well, truly across the nation, where accessing healthcare is such an issue. We really need to be able to advocate for ourselves. We have to have some knowledge about how to use the healthcare system. And that's how I met Connie. I basically was, tooling around the internet, looking for resources specific to British Columbia. Connie had just published a book at that time called Advanced Care Planning. And, it's COVID. You're at home and you have to talk to people on the phone via Zoom. That's how we met. And she saw my passion for this subject matter, and she has been instrumental in helping me develop this service. And we actually facilitate that program together.
Fantastic. Well, can you kind of give the listeners here a sort of taster of what exactly the service is and what they can expect when they get in touch with you?
Right. So advanced care planning is a part of getting our affairs in order. It's one part, but it is a significant part because, we're talking about our future healthcare needs, not conversations that are easy to have with our family members, even ourselves. I mean, none of us want to really approach this subject matter. So we've designed a step-by-step learning program on how to embrace this subject matter and learn what is relevant in this jurisdiction of British Columbia, because language, programs, forms, they do vary from province to province. So it is important to know what is relevant in BC.
Mhm.
So we talk a lot about what those different forms are, how to use them. We talk about our own personal values and beliefs and how they play into this decision making. We also talk about, end of life, vigil planning, and how to basically have a good death. Not easy subject matter to grapple with, but we do know that the more we have these conversations, we normalize these conversations around, serious healthcare issues, dying, and finally death, the more people will put the plans they need in place so that they feel comfortable, they know that they are ready if and when they should need to access the healthcare system, particularly at end of life.
Well, because I guess people don't plan to access the healthcare system. It is something that sort of happens, right?
That's absolutely right. I mean, we put these plans in place hoping that we never have to use them, but having the knowledge and around using the healthcare system when and if we should need to use the healthcare system is vital for getting through those very stressful circumstances. And, you know, we are living longer. We do have longer lives. And so the chances of us using the healthcare system as we age will significantly increase.
And of course, the problem is people are scared. We're scared of the healthcare system because we don't deal with it on a regular basis. We have no idea what it's all about. We hear maybe bad things about it, and
Yes.
it's how do we deal with it
Right. And
to our benefit, right?
absolutely. And this is where Connie's expertise and the information she's going to be sharing at the VSBN event on October 23 is so important. That's where her knowledge is. She was a registered nurse. She's been a patient advocate now for 15 years. She is a teacher at heart. She loves to educate people about important matters. And of course, she has documented all of this experience she's accumulated over, you know, her career in a book that will be for sale on October 23rd as well as October 24th.
Well, so far the take up has been fantastic. And for those of you who are listening right now, we do have room for you. So don't you worry. Make sure that you join us. I'm going to give you the details here again right now. So make sure you grab that pen and paper. It is Navigating the BC Healthcare System. It is happening on Wednesday, October the 23rd at St. Patrick's Church in Oak Bay. It's between 1:30 and 3:30. The address there is 2060 Haltane Street, 2060 Haltane Street. The speaker, as Darylyn has said, is Connie Jorsvik. She is the author of Navigating the BC Healthcare System, along with other books that Darylyn has just mentioned. If you would like to join us, best way to do that is to get to Eventbrite online. Eventbrite. Actually, I have posted it here on the CFAX 1070 website as well. So you can visit cfax1070.com, look under shows, and find us, The Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. All the information is there. Or again, get your son or daughter or grandkids to go online, find Eventbrite, look up October 23rd in Victoria. You will find us, Navigating the BC Healthcare System. Or if you prefer, you can just call a phone number, leave a message. The number is 1-778-200-3387. Again, that's 1-778-200-3387. The one, by the way, is important. That is a number that you can just leave a message and let us know if you're coming. We'll follow up with you with a confirmation as well. Now, one last thing, Darylyn, aside from Wednesday 23rd, you and Connie have another event the day afterwards, right?
Right. That is the advanced care planning workshops. We'll be co-facilitating on Gorge at the Legion on Gorge Road, pardon me.
Yep.
And for information and registration details for that, people can go to my website, orderlyaffairs.ca.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Tony.
And to you, our loyal listeners, hope to see you. Come and join us at Navigating the BC Healthcare System. If not, I will catch you next time. I'll be here for you this time next week.